All right, monster lovers, horror fans, kaiju cultists, and casual popcorn munchers, today we're diving deep, and I mean Mariana Trench deep, into the greatest animalistic monsters in pop culture history. No vampires, no zombies, no werewolves that look like gym bros with hair problems. I'm talking about the big bads that roar, smash, stalk, and chomp their way into our nightmares, and sometimes our hearts. Monsters that don't just scare us, but define entire eras of cinema. By the end, you'll be arguing in the comments, screaming at your screens, and hopefully smashing that like button and subscribing, yes, twice. Because if Godzilla can destroy Tokyo repeatedly, you can hit subscribe more than once. We're going from the bottom to the absolute throne. 10 monsters, 10 legends, each one capable of carrying their own feature film, some with franchises spanning decades. And the deeper we go, the bigger the legends become until we arrive at the undisputed king. So grab your popcorn, maybe a harpoon, and let's count down. 10. Zilla. Godzilla, 1998. Ah, yes. The misunderstood cousin at the family reunion. The one everyone politely waves at, but then whispers, "Don't mention the tuna." This is Zilla. Back in 1998, America tried to reinvent Godzilla for Hollywood audiences. What we got was, well, Godzilla's slimmer iguana-inspired cousin who traded atomic breath for running away from rockets like it was in a Fast and Furious audition. Now let's be honest, Zilla is not Godzilla. In fact, Toho, the Japanese company behind the original, even stripped him of the name and demoted him to just Zilla. Why? Because they said the American movie took the god out of Godzilla. That's cold. That's like calling Batman just man. But here's the thing. Zilla has carved out his own niche. Fans still talk about him, argue about him, meme him. He even showed up in the animated Godzilla Final Wars, only to get body slammed by the real Godzilla in like 15 seconds. A cinematic roast if there ever was one. And yet, Zilla deserves this spot because despite all the hate, that 1998 movie was a cultural event. The hype was insane. Trailers teased Godzilla's massive foot. The Taco Bell Chihuahua shouted, "Here, lizard, lizard, lizard." Everyone was talking about it. And yes, the movie may have disappointed, but Zilla's legacy remains. Proof that even failed monsters can still be iconic. Plus, come on, that scene with baby Zillas in Madison Square Garden, Jurassic Park knockoff or not, it was fun. Check 9. Indominus Rex, Jurassic World 2015. What do you get when you take a T-Rex, mix in some velociraptor, a dash of cuttlefish, a pinch of frog DNA, and sprinkle in corporate greed? You get the Indominus Rex, the ultimate because science can monster. In Jurassic World, Indominus was billed as the first genetically engineered dinosaur designed purely for theme park audiences. Bigger, scarier, with more teeth, because apparently regular dinosaurs just weren't enough anymore. And honestly, that's brilliant meta-commentary. The movie itself was saying, audiences want more. We're bored of the classics. So let's Frankenstein one together, and Indominus delivered. She's smart enough to trick humans, camouflages like a chameleon, controls raptors, and has the fighting power of a heavyweight kaiju. That final showdown where T-Rex and Blue Team up to take her down? Chef's kiss. Instant Jurassic legend. Indominus deserves her spot because she embodies modern blockbuster culture. Bigger, flashier, engineered for spectacle. She's literally a monster born of capitalism, and audiences ate it up. And then she got eaten by the Mosasaurus. Circle of life, baby. 8. The Mind Flayer, Stranger Things. If the Demogorgon was creepy, the Mind Flayer was nightmare fuel. This is where Stranger Things said, okay, forget D&D references. Let's just traumatize everyone. The Mind Flayer isn't just a monster, it's a concept. A shadowy hive mind entity that wants to invade our world and turn humans into meat puppets. Visually, it's terrifying. That storm-like silhouette in the sky, the massive spider-shaped shadow looming over Hawkins. And when it finally manifests in Season 3, taking over rats and turning people into goo to form a gigantic flesh monster, that was peak body horror. It's like John Carpenter's The Thing moved to small-town Indiana. Why is the Mind Flayer iconic? Because it represents the unseen evil. The threat that seeps into your world, corrupts your friends, and makes you question reality. It's the personification of dread. Plus, it gave Stranger Things a true final boss. Something larger and scarier than the Demogorgon. Something that makes Hawkins feel like ground zero for an apocalypse. And if Vecna is the creepy puppet master, the Mind Flayer is the ultimate war general of the Upside Down. Number 7. Vecna, Stranger Things, Season 4. And here comes the Upside Down's answer to Freddy Krueger, with a bit of Pinhead and Voldemort sprinkled in. Vecna isn't just a monster. He's the face of Stranger Things horror. When Season 4 dropped, audiences were floored. The creepy design, the grotesque skin, the bone-snapping kills. And that voice? Chilling. Vecna works because he blends psychological horror with body horror. He doesn't just kill you. He haunts your mind, preys on your trauma, then literally folds your body like origami. That's nightmare fuel on steroids. And his backstory as Henry I tied the whole Stranger Things mythos together. He wasn't just another monster from the Upside Down. He was the mastermind. Vecna deserves this spot because he elevated Stranger Things from fun nostalgia with monsters to true horror storytelling. He became meme-worthy. Chrissy Wake Up still echoes online, and his impact on pop culture was instant. When fans dress up as you for Halloween within months, you know you've hit monster icon status. Darker 6, Jaws, 1975. Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, along came a giant shark that ruined beach vacations forever. Jaws isn't just a monster. Jaws is the monster that invented the summer blockbuster. Before 1975, movies didn't dominate summers. Then Spielberg dropped this finned terror, and suddenly everyone was terrified of oceans, pools, bathtubs, basically any body of water. What makes Jaws legendary isn't just the shark itself, but the suspense. Spielberg barely showed the shark because the mechanical model kept breaking. And ironically, that made it scarier. The ominous music, the point-of-view shots, that fin slicing through the waves, it tapped into primal fear, being hunted where you're most vulnerable. And when we do see Jaws in full chomping glory, it delivers Quint's death scene, the shark leaping onto the boat, and that glorious finale, smile you son of a boom, pure cinematic perfection. Jaws is iconic because it changed film forever. It made sharks terrifying, spawned countless sequels and rip-offs, and cemented Spielberg as Hollywood's golden child. Even today, kids who've never seen the film know that dun-dun, dun-dun theme. That's immortality. 5. T-Rex, Jurassic Park, 1993. The Queen of Dinosaurs. The moment she steps out in Spielberg's Jurassic Park, roaring in the rain, framed by lightning, cinema was changed forever. This wasn't stop-motion clay like old movies. This was the birth of photorealistic CGI blended with animatronics. And the T-Rex looked real. Too real. People were screaming, ducking in theaters, genuinely believing dinosaurs had come back. The T-Rex isn't just a monster, she's a rock star. Her entrance scene with the flipped Ford Explorer? Iconic. The chase with the objects in mirror are closer than they appear gag? Legendary. And the finale, where she bursts into the visitor center to save the humans from raptors and then roars under the falling when dinosaurs ruled the Earth banner? That's a mic drop moment. T-Rex became the face of the Jurassic franchise. She wasn't just scary, she was majestic. She represented nature's raw power, a reminder that humans are small and fragile, and every sequel has tried to recapture that magic, often bringing the same Rex back like she's some Hollywood diva demanding her spotlight. She deserves it. She's the dinosaur that defined generations. Number 4. King Kong. Now we're climbing into legend territory. King Kong isn't just a monster, he's a cultural icon, one of the first true cinematic beasts. In 1933, audiences had never seen anything like it. Stop-motion animation brought this skyscraper-sized ape to life, and suddenly, the Empire State Building wasn't just a building, it was a battlefield. Kong worked because he wasn't mindless. He was tragic. He didn't attack out of malice. He was taken from his home, exploited, paraded like a circus act, and lashed out. He was both terrifying and sympathetic. That duality made him unforgettable, and when he fell from the Empire State, audiences didn't cheer. They wept. It was beauty killed the beast. Cinema poetry. Over the decades, Kong has been reinvented again and again. In the 70s, he was bigger and bolder. In Peter Jackson's 2005 remake, he was emotive, expressive, a digital marvel that could break your heart in one scene and crush dinosaurs in another. And in the MonsterVerse, he's reimagined as a warrior titan and underdog who actually goes toe-to-toe with Godzilla. Kong has range. He can be tragic romance, pulpy action hero, or blockbuster superstar. Why is Kong top 4? Because he's more than a monster. He's myth. He represents humanity's relationship with nature, the way we exploit, fear, and admire it. And also, let's be honest, he's just badass. Nobody forgets a giant ape climbing skyscrapers with fighter planes swarming around him. That's cinema gold. 3. Predator. If King Kong is myth, Predator is adrenaline. This monster is the apex hunter, the Jim Bro of intergalactic nightmares. When Predator dropped in 1987, audiences expected another jungle action flick. What they got was something entirely new, a horror slasher disguised as an action movie. And the slasher? A 7-foot alien with mandibles and a love of spine collections. Predator is iconic because he's not random. He's selective. He doesn't just kill anyone. He hunts warriors, soldiers, the toughest prey. He's basically that one friend who only plays Elden Ring on hardcore permadeath mode, and that makes him terrifying, because if he's after you, it means he thinks you're worth the effort. Congrats! The design is flawless. The dreadlock-like hair, the invisibility cloak, the thermal vision, the clicking growl, and that face reveal, mandibles flaring open as he challenges Arnold Schwarzenegger to a final duel, that's top-tier cinema. Predator isn't just scary, he's cool, he's stylish, he has honor, he's basically the Batman of aliens. And his legacy? Massive. Sequels, comics, games, toys. The Alien vs. Predator crossover became a cultural phenomenon because fans couldn't resist pitting two of cinema's greatest monsters against each other. And then came Prey, 2022, which stripped the character back to basics and reminded everyone why Predator works. Because no matter the time period, whether it's futuristic soldiers or Comanche warriors, the idea of being hunted never stops being scary. Predator's place at number 3 is secure because he blends horror, action, and sci-fi into one unstoppable package. He's not just a villain, he's a challenge. Number 2, Xenomorph Alien. And here we go. The nightmare made flesh. The creature that redefined horror. The one and only Xenomorph. When Alien hit in 1979, people weren't ready. Horror in space wasn't new, but nothing looked like this. The Xenomorph wasn't a guy in a rubber suit. It wasn't some goofy green alien. It was sleek, biomechanical, grotesque, and beautiful in a horrifying way. Designed by H.R. Giger, the Xenomorph is the pinnacle of monster design. The elongated skull, the dripping jaws, the eyeless face that somehow stares into your soul, and of course the double jaw, the inner mouth that shoots out like a jack-in-the-box of death. It's so wrong it's right, but what makes the Xenomorph truly iconic is its life cycle. Facehugger, chestburster, adult. Each stage is a horror movie in itself. The facehugger is pure violation horror. This spider crab latches onto your face and impregnates you while you're helpless. The chestburster is cinematic legend. John Hurt writhing on the table before a baby alien bursts from his ribcage, spraying blood everywhere. Audiences fainted, screamed, threw up. It was too much, too new, too terrifying. And then the adult Xenomorph stalks the crew of the Nostromo in shadows, picking them off one by one. The Xenomorph is perfect because it embodies primal fear, claustrophobia, parasitism, body horror. It doesn't think, it doesn't negotiate, it just survives. It is, as Ash the android says, the perfect organism. And let's not forget Aliens, 1986, where James Cameron cranked the action to 11. Suddenly, it's not one Xenomorph, it's dozens. And then the Queen. The Alien Queen is almost as iconic as the drone, towering over Ripley in the climactic power loader battle. Get away from her, you bitch. That line, that fight, movie history. The Xenomorph spawned an empire. Sequels, comics, video games, toys, crossovers. Even people who have never watched Alien know what a Xenomorph is. That's the mark of true pop culture dominance. It's not just a movie monster, it's the monster. And now we arrive at the throne, the king of monsters, the one and only Godzilla. No other creature comes close in terms of cultural impact, legacy, or sheer cinematic presence. Godzilla isn't just a monster, he's an institution. Born in 1954 out of Japan's post-nuclear trauma, Godzilla was more than entertainment. He was metaphor. A walking, roaring embodiment of atomic horror. Cities reduced to rubble. Citizens running in terror. Godzilla was both terrifying and cathartic, a way for Japan to process the scars of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And from there, he evolved. Decade after decade, Godzilla reinvented himself. Sometimes he was the villain, the unstoppable force of nature. Sometimes he was the hero, defending Earth from other kaiju. Sometimes he was goofy, dancing, drop-kicking, even teaching kids morals in the campy Showa era. And then he got serious again, towering in modern blockbusters with CGI scales glistening in atomic fire. What makes Godzilla #1 isn't just the movies, it's the legacy. Over 35 films, dozens of different designs. Comics, cartoons, toys, memes. He's fought everything from giant moths to three-headed dragons to robotic clones. He even fought Charles Barkley in a Nike commercial. Name one other monster who can claim that resume. And yet, through it all, Godzilla remains relevant. Every generation discovers him anew. In the MonsterVerse, he's become a global blockbuster star, duking it out with Kong, leveling cities, and still capturing imaginations. That atomic breath, one of the most iconic powers in fiction, period. That roar, instantly recognizable worldwide. Godzilla is king because he represents something bigger than cinema. He is destruction and awe, tragedy and power, myth and metaphor. He is the monster all other monsters are measured against. So when people ask who the greatest movie monster of all time is, the answer isn't up for debate. It's Godzilla, always Godzilla, forever Godzilla. And there you have it, folks. From Zilla's tuna cravings to the atomic breath of the king himself, these are the 10 most iconic monsters in pop culture cinema. Each of them shaped movies, terrified audiences, and carved their place in history. Some tragic, some terrifying, some accidentally funny, but all unforgettable. So what do you think? Did I crown the right king? Should the T-Rex have chomped her way higher? Should Predator have spine collected the #1 spot? Or is there a monster I missed entirely? Sound off in the comments, because if we know anything about monster fans, it's that we love to debate. And hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, keep the lights on, stay out of the water, and never ever ignore the sound of ominous clicking in the jungle.